I let it go. I release the thing I'm clinging to. I release what's holding me, and I'm falling into God's love. I let it be. There's nothing more for me to do, nothing more to say. I'm just falling into God's love. I feel Spirit holding me. It is lifting me on high. I let it go. I release the thing I'm clinging to. I release what's holding me, and I'm falling into God's love. I let it be. There's nothing more for me to do, nothing more to say. I'm just falling into God's love. I feel Spirit holding me. It is lifting me on high. I rise on a power I can't see. I don't ask why. I don't need to understand everything. Ooh, and it's by faith I fly, and it's by grace I see. I see. I
welcome to the Open Heart Spiritual Center, Heartstream. We are so glad you're here with us on this Easter Sunday. I hope you have your Easter bonnets on. Join me as we open this time together by turning within. Oh, sweet Spirit, thank you for the gift of this day of celebrating the rise of Christ consciousness within all of us, the opportunity to watch and learn from the narratives of Master Teacher Jesus, and how we can all embody the truths that are such an important part of our philosophy, that we are one with God, that the kingdom of heaven is within, and that we are divine, whole, perfect, and love from the very beginning. I know that this time of celebration is filled with love and light, and that all who are a part of it will be transformed, empowered, and inspired for having stopped by here. We bless all on our prayer list and all those we hold in our hearts this day. We welcome the move of the Spirit and let all that unfolds during this celebration be blessed, empowered, and love-filled. And so it is. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cast your attention into the void. The universe is waiting. Ever present at your command, eternally creating. There inside the silence, deep inside the silence, listen to the silence. Deep within your sacred place where unity and peace dwell.
Unity and peace dwell.
You can hear that still small voice say things only to you it will tell. Only in the silence, deep inside the silence, listen to the silence. Never-ending joy, never-ending peace, never-ending life, never-ending ease. All that is and all that was is all that ever will be. Filled with boundless possibilities, endlessly unfolding. Here inside the silence, only in the silence, deep inside the silence, there inside the silence, listen to the silence. What comes from the heart reaches the heart.
Good morning and welcome to our Heartstream for this Sunday, April the 5th, Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, however it is you choose to term it or look at it. But this is a day of celebration, a day in which we celebrate and acknowledge the rising up of the Christ consciousness in each and every one of you. The thing I very often say is that the resurrection is not a story reserved for a party of one, but it is something that applies to all of us. We experience the resurrection daily in our lives, things that are happening, things that seem hopeless that become turned around. As I often also quote Dr. Barbara King, what good is the resurrection if you can't use it? And that's what we're really focusing on today. I'm so happy for this opportunity to share in today's Heartstream. Ask you for your continued support in the ways that you do so from a financial standpoint, also in sharing with others, helping them to know about what it is that we are doing. I'll have more details later, but I know that I originally had talked about starting the affirmative prayer class at Unity later in the month, but I'm going to move that back, and so we'll be starting in the month of May. And as I mentioned, you'll find out and hear more about that, about signing up if you'd like to participate and be a part of that. But again, thank you for all that you do. I wish that however you choose to celebrate this day with family and loved ones, that it's a great day for you. And as always, I greet you, I bless you, I see God in you.
Today is a day like no other day. Just think and you'll know that it's true. Days like today should be holidays. So I'm singing this message to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day.
There are several ways to give to Open Heart: through our Cash App at OHSC901, online at OHSC901.com, or text the word GIVE to 615-422-4290.
A powerful way to start or continue your day is with our daily prayer call. Each morning, at 8 a.m. Central Time, a prayer team member provides an inspirational reading and an affirmative prayer. Join us at 901-586-8755.
Come out and improve your strength, balance, and flexibility with our instructor, P.A. Bomani, better known as Coach P.A., the founder of Stretch Yoga Pilates. He tailors the sessions to fit your level of fitness from beginner to advanced. We meet each Saturday at 9 a.m. It's just $10 per person per class. Hey, if you're in the Memphis area, each week you're invited to come out to Unity Christian Church, 3345 McCorkle Road, to join us for our Sunday celebration. This isn't just about John speaking, but it's about an opportunity for two powerful, wonderful congregations to come together. That's right, because we have people from Open Heart who join in singing, who work as platform assistants, and other things that happen on those Sundays. And if you're here, it's an opportunity for you to come out and to share with us. If you're not able to be here in person, you can always stream with us at Unity Christian Church, both on the Facebook page and on the YouTube channel. Hope to see you soon.
Do, 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 do.
Rising Unbound. This morning I want to start off with a reading from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 16. When Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome, brought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. They were saying to one another, "Who will roll the stone away for us from the entrance of the tomb?" When they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled back. As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You're looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised. He is not here." And as I think about that, and there's some other accounts that talk about that people, as they looked in the tomb, they saw the things that they had wrapped him in after the crucifixion that were lying over on the side. And it made me think about going through the season of Lent, talking about the fact of eliminating those things which no longer serve us, which comes to the title Rising Unbound, that his being raised, unbound, his being raised from all of the things that had happened in the past. And I know this is a very familiar story. I know what we're celebrating today, this Easter Sunday, this Resurrection Sunday. But I continue to ask the question that Dr. Barbara King asked many years ago: what good is the resurrection if you can't use it? What good is the resurrection if you can't use it? And I know that I came to the realization also many years ago that the resurrection is not reserved for a party of one. And this morning there's a lot to unpack metaphysically. Jesus' life symbolizes all the steps and the growth opportunities the soul must face on the journey from normal levels of human consciousness to Christ consciousness. The Christ is God individualized. Jesus symbolizes growth into Christhood, Christ consciousness. We study his life where it has significant meaning for us. And I know that it's easy to want to jump from Good Friday to Easter. I get it. I really do. I get it. It's easy to jump there, but we can't get there without Good Friday. We can't get to Easter without Good Friday, Judas and all. And I know often why we want to jump straight to Easter because of that. And, I think about the time that my wife and I were walking through Overton Park. And as we were talking, she started to share with me the story of Balto, a wolf dog that had been ridiculed but ended up saving people in a small town in Alaska. And as we were walking, she said, let's, when we get home, watch it. And I said to her, no, because I have an Easter message to prepare for. But the real reason was I did want to see Balto go through the stuff that he had done. There were some things that he had experienced that were uncomfortable, and I didn't want to see them at that time. And I have to go back to Jesus. The betrayal that Jesus experienced, the internal Judas causes us to end up suffering, betraying our Christ essence, the Judas effect or doubt. But the Son of God is a religious and political statement. Every Roman emperor was called the Son of God. But Jesus was referred to as the Son of David, a spiritual, religious, and political term. And the term, the kingdom of God, is not just religious, but it's also political. It refers to a realm or a territory that someone rules. And let's get this straight. Jesus was crucified because he was viewed as a threat. It's not about the things, the stories that has been told for so very long that people still maintain the fact that he died for our sins. He was a sacrifice and a vicarious atonement and all of that. Jesus died because he was a political threat. And because he was a political threat, because he stood as a threat to the Roman government, he stood even as a threat to the religious leaders of his day and his time. And so that's what led to the crucifixion. But the lesson that we learn from the crucifixion is that things have to be destroyed before they can be restored. And that's the in-between process that can be quite messy. We think about it, you look at a construction site, that it's messy before things finally get built and put into their final thing. A painter crushes paint tubes to paint a masterpiece. There are many other things that we can point to and look at, that there's a point and there's a period, there's a stage that's messy, that gets messy before getting to the final product, before getting to the final outcome. And the crucifixion was something that was necessary for the new to emerge. It symbolizes a process of crossing out or eliminating that which was no longer needful for our continued unfoldment. What has fulfilled its purpose in us must be either lifted to a higher level of expression and consciousness or let go of completely. And Jesus' crucifixion illustrates both of these meanings. And there's something that I'd like to also get to, because a part of this, what I call, and I'm not original with this, but the children of the second day. Because after the crucifixion, they were people who had gotten together, they had lost hope. One that they'd given up much for. Remember, they traveled with him. But because it was the Sabbath, they were confined to their homes. They couldn't prepare his body for a proper burial. And there they were, grieving. There they were, caught up in their pain. There they were, caught up in their feeling lost. And because we know how things will ultimately end, it's easy to overlook that second day. But as we understand that a second day existence isn't completely unfamiliar to us. We go through things such as an unjust firing from a job, some accident that wasn't our own doing, some physical problem that struck us down seemingly out of the blue, some rejection by a loved one, a financial setback, being talked about, so many different things that are a part of uncomfortable existence and things like that. Right now, the institutions of our country are being torn down, our most vulnerable being put at risk, people being shipped off to foreign prisons. There are people that are happening, whole industries being shut down or affected by the tariffs, the lack of tourism dollars and the lack of workers. And one of the things that here that we see that is happening, continuing to happen, all of these things around us being, being destroyed, or things being shaken up or disturbed, and all of this. Again, I ask the question, what good is the resurrection if you can't use it? Eric Butterworth suggests that it comes from seeing it rightly. It comes from seeing the resurrection rightly, what he calls the Easter perspective, where we lift up our eyes and see things from a higher point of view. And I know that there are people that might say that I'm not ready to hear that yet, but it's a message of hope. You see, the word resurrectus comes from the word resurge. If you look in your dictionary, you'll find that this is the root of the word resurrect, to resurge, a resurgence of life, of understanding, of enthusiasm, of dynamic truth, springing up into newness of life, seeing, in other words, through a different perspective, seeing from a different point of view. Butterworth tells the story of a little girl who's standing looking out the front window of her home as her two brothers were dragging the lifeless form of her pet dog from the road in front of the house where it had been struck down. They were dragging it into the backyard, and she was sobbing for all she was worth. Her grandfather came up to her, and attempting to comfort her, he stood by her and just sort of patted her on the arm, and then put his arm around her shoulder and to share his love and his warmth with her. They watched as the boys brought the dog into the backyard, and then they dug a hole and had a kind of simple little burial service for her. The little girl was crying as if life was over for her. Finally, when the dog was buried, the grandfather took hold of the girl by the arm and took her to the side window of the same room, looking out a side garden by the house. There was a tree that was in full bloom because it was spring. They looked at the tree, and the girl squealed with delight because in the fall before, she and her grandfather had planted this very tree. And she felt the participation and the fullness of life coming back in the tree. She was so happy and bubbling and joyous, and the grandfather let her experience this for a moment. Then finally he said, in a moment of wisdom, "You see, dear, you were looking out the wrong window." So often we look out the wrong window. We only see the lifeless form of things that we have tried so hard to achieve that didn't seem to work out. We're so sad. We're concerned about friendships that have broken up, losses that seem irreparable. We're so lonely and so sad and so disconsolate. Yet always, because life is a living, flowing experience, if we simply look out another window, we will tend to see that life goes on. That spring is in the garden again. That something is happening, a resurgence that's very innate with life, within life itself. And it's always bubbling forth within us. If we can only tune into it, if we can just get a little higher perspective, if you will, look out another window. Sometimes there's no way that we can set things right. The little girl couldn't bring the dog back again, and she couldn't set it right, but she could see life rightly by looking out another window. She could see life coming back again. She could see a resurgence of enthusiasm. What a wonderful thing it is to be able to see that. Which brings us to the third day. The women making their way to the tomb are wondering who will roll the stone away. When we remain stuck in the second day consciousness, any suggestions for a change, we meet with resistance. We cite the limitations, and that's what the stone represented. This is when we look to the master teacher Jesus, the divine example, the way shower. Butterworth reminds us he was a man on a quest, a man working to understand his own innateness, to demonstrate his divine potential, but man experiencing a loving, transcendent desire to help every person throughout all time to know the truth about themselves. Jesus was a man going on, not only achieving his own victory, but proving for all time certain fundamental transcendent laws applicable to every life in any time. In other words, Jesus was one of us, and he made it. Now, this, you see, has been the theme of the Jesus gospel, that humans can only be explained in terms of our potential, in terms of the person that we can be. This is a long forgotten message, one that is rarely heard. But you see, Easter proclaims more than anything else that there is a real life genius within you. It's not simply talking about the fact that a man rose from the dead 2,000 years ago. Praise God. It's talking about the fact that there were certain fundamental principles which he understood about life, which should tell you some things about yourself. There's a fundamental real life genius in you, struggling for releasement, waiting for releasement, anticipating releasement, expecting releasement. If you can get into the consciousness, even to a certain limited degree, the consciousness that Jesus experienced, and let Easter live in you, then the stones of all kinds of limitation will be rolled away from your tomb. And many of us experience all sorts of tombs in our lives. And I imagine if we took the time and to talk about that, we'd get some pretty serious, grievous tombs that we are involved in right now. And I'm not saying that any of this is easy. But what I am saying is if we study, if we work, if we discipline ourselves, then we're going to keep on and keep on and keeping on. You see, we misunderstand Jesus if we fail to note the commitment and the discipline of his own quest. He didn't come into life at a particular level of consciousness with everything all worked out for him so that he couldn't make a mistake. This is totally to misunderstand the story. Jesus was a man on a quest, a man experiencing overcoming and having much to overcome. And as we rise up in consciousness, as we rise unbound, we too, like in Philippians says, can declare, I want to know Christ and the power of his resurrection. And it's because of resurrection power, what was lost is found, what was destroyed is restored, what was broken, what was fixed, what was turned upside down is turned right side up. What seemed hopeless now is filled with hope. What seemed useless now has some use. All of those things are turned around. All of us live in and begin to know this resurrection consciousness, this resurrection power, this ability to rise up unbound. Happy Easter. Amen. Ashe. And so it is.